What's up, guys? Looking to create a new account with William Hill? For the first $50 you deposit, you receive a $150 bonus bet or have your initial deposit matched. Inbox me for details. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of The Locker Room. I am here with one of my favourite St. George players, the big Benny Creagh. What's going on, brother?
Kempy, going great, mate. Yeah, good.
Thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on.
How are you feeling? You know, it's the first few months of retirement, so everyone goes through the anxiety levels are down, stress levels are down. The boys are about to start pre-season, so obviously you will not be missing those moments. But yeah, how are you feeling mentally with everything? You're happy? What are you doing now?
Yeah, no, I'm pretty good actually. It was a pretty long season for me, the one just gone, only because I got injured after round 2. I had the surgery, got infected, and then majority of the year I've just been trying to get back to play. And I suppose 3/4 of the way during the year I came to the realisation that I wasn't going to be able to play again. So I've probably had a bit of time to digest the whole retirement thing. Yep. I knew my knee was always going to be the reason I retired, so it just worked out that way. But after all the retirement stuff happened, it's pretty special retiring, and things at the ground at the Dragons final game and NRL grand final stuff. There's a lot of events on, so it was all a special time. But I've enjoyed the last month or two just with the family, and back to work now at the club, which is really good, staying busy. And like you said, the boys start back on Monday. There's going to be testing, yo-yo tests and beep tests and whatever else. Yep. And I'm pretty happy. I'm just going to sit on the sideline and watch now, mate. Like you know, it's pre-season is the toughest time of the year for any rugby league player, so I'm looking forward to doing something different and being away from footy a bit.
It'll be the first pre-season that you can be in the car on the way there, and be actually happy to see the boys, and be thinking I can't wait to watch these boys get touched up. They're getting touched up.
Right, you're right, and it'll be the first October, November, December. I'll be able to, I suppose, not worried about the night before going to bed, stressing about what's coming.
Fitness, that's Mondays for Tuesday. Fitness.
You're always stressing what dinner's going to be, what breakfast is going to be. There's so much that goes into preparation, to play and train every day. So I'm looking forward to not having to worry about that. Yeah,
and nice. I guess another positive for yourself is you're going to still be a part of the club, the system. You love the club, you love the boys, so you get the positives of it. You're still around everyone, you get to see everyone. You're a part of the culture still. But you don't have to necessarily tear yourself up every week kind of thing. Whereas the only negative really will be round 1 when the boys are out and you're going to be going,
that's right. I think I'm going to miss playing. I'm going to miss training as well. That's some of the funnest times, training sessions with the boys during the year, pre-season.
When you're
it's tough. It's tough, but you have a laugh at times. So I'm going to miss all that. But like you said, new challenge now for me, working at the club, doing some wellbeing education stuff with 20s reserve grade, first grade. It's going to be a huge eye-opener for me, huge challenge, but I'm looking forward to it. It's going to keep me busy. I think it's going to be the most important thing for me out of footy now, and I'm excited to stay around the club. I've been here for a long time, played all my juniors at Illawarra and made my debut here and finished here, so it's great to be able to still be a part of it and help in another way now. I suppose that's the main thing. I've always enjoyed trying to help younger players come through and try and mentor them a bit. So to be away from that, not being a player, and be able to help them behind the scenes, I think that's important, and I'm looking forward to that. Yeah. And
I guess it's you're still essentially a part of the team. You're just shifting your role to maybe a more behind the scenes part of the team kind of thing. So you're not losing that sense of purpose. That a lot like I lost a sense of purpose. If you go work behind a bar, you don't have that purpose anymore. Whereas your purpose will be to help these young men be the best men they can be, and also that will create the best team you can kind of create too.
Yeah, that's right. I suppose I'm really lucky in a way. Not many players, I suppose, retire and then get to work in the same club, work in that footy space again, because that seems to be something that a lot of retired players miss, is that being around the team, being around the boys. So I suppose I'm really lucky in that sense that I can still be there. Yeah, I'm not part of the team. Yeah, I won't be there every day training with them, but if I can help them in some way, I suppose become better players, be better people, more well-rounded. That'll be a huge buzz for me, I suppose, and
that'll be your Saturday night, running out in the field kind
of thing. That's right. Yeah, hopefully, and so I'm excited about it. Yeah, it'd be good.
And take us back to our young Benny Creagh.
Benny Creagh. I first started playing footy when I was about 13 or 14, actually, a bit later than usual. I played basketball before that.
Because you're 6'2", 6'3"?
No, I'm not that tall. Probably 6'1" or something like that. Yeah, around, a bit over 6 foot. Yeah, so I played a bit of basketball when I was young. I used to love it. I started playing footy when I went to school, actually, when I was about 13, I think, year 7 at high school. And some of my mates I went to an all-boys school, Edmund Rice, up at Mount Kira.
Yep.
And all my mates played footy, and no one played basketball. I was kind of the odd one out. So I started giving it a go, playing school footy. I loved it. Like, I really, really enjoyed it. Started playing a local team down here, university, trying to balance that with basketball, and then started making some rep teams. And I was like, oh, I'm really enjoying this now. You know, I want to give it a real crack. You know.
Yep.
I never thought I'd play first grade. I always dreamt to, like all young footy players, you know. But I just kept working at it, and finally got there when I was 18, which was
18's pretty young too.
No, it was young, mate. It was when I look back, and I was probably too young to start playing. There was a lot of injuries at the club at the time. I think my progression in 2003, I played maybe Jersey Flegg, which is under 21s early in the season. Played reserve grade, ended up playing first grade round 20.
Oh wow!
NRL, so it was like everything really happened really quick.
Yeah.
Like I was working Jamboree Rec Park, landscape gardener during the day. Honestly, mate, it was crazy.
Yeah,
I was a year out of school, and it just happened really fast. And I probably wasn't ready for it. Like it was my dream to play first grade, but my first 5 games were shockers. Like,
oh really?
My debut was on the wing was one to
funny on the sting, bro.
The 4 games after that, I was just a scared little kid, you know. Like, I love playing. I wanted to make it, and I got there, and I was like, oh my god, how much work have I got to do, you know? But I suppose that's the same for most guys. A lot of players have dream debuts, but a lot of guys don't. But I suppose it's that hunger and that drive to become better, which I suppose helps you to keep playing, keep trying to get the contract to keep playing 3 more years, and keep want to play more games for that club you debuted for. So it was special. Yeah.
And so, you know, you look, you probably wouldn't have thought about this perspective, and it happens to a lot of the boys when I kind of just put into words what they've achieved or whatever.
Yep.
But when you were 14, you weren't even playing footy.
Yeah.
4 years later, you were playing NRL. That's a pretty immense achievement, you know, and no wonder you were sitting there going, wow, this is a bit like much on your debut, because there's no... And also, you've got to remember as well, back in those days, there wasn't as set a structure of building young players up, you know, getting them in the first grade squad early, training them all the time, you know, making them feel comfortable around first grade players. Like, I remember when I first came to the Broncos and I was training with reserve grade, and I was just watching the first grades going, they're too big, they're too fast, they're too big. Yeah. So I can imagine what it would be like for yourself. So when was the decision of you gave up basketball to follow league? Was it because there was no path for basketball and you couldn't really go anywhere, or was it because you was, you know, felt so kind of gifted at footy that you focused on footy?
I think it was. It must have been when the year I was turning 16 years old, and it was in January. My dad goes, it's mainly because my dad, he goes, look, you've got to pick, because you're training, like Mum and Dad were taking to training every night during the week. Like, it was either basketball training one night, footy training the next night. It happens a lot of families, you know. Dad's like, you've got a brother and sister who also play sport. Like, you've got to pick, mate. We can't keep doing this. Like, and I was like, well, I want to play footy. Like, and Dad was a bit shocked by that. Like,
oh, really?
He really was. Like, because I'd played so much basketball and rep basketball, travelling to Albury, Canberra, all these different places for different teams, and we did like a big family, like lots of different families who we knew really well, who my parents were good friends with. So
part of the community.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so Dad was a bit shocked. You know, I picked footy, and that's how it just went. Then I made my decision and stuck to it. And then
when was the first moment for you where you were? I mean, I'm assuming you make a local rep side. Yeah, that's good. You make a regional one, and then you make maybe a state one. Did you make state sides, or you didn't?
Yeah, no, I made when I was in year 12, 2002, so the year before my debut, I played for CCC, Catholic schools in the schoolboys stuff. I think the year after I made a under 17s origin or something like that, maybe. Yeah, it might have been that year. It probably wasn't until I was 18 when I kind of got out of school and I started playing flag for the Dragons, and I was like, oh, I might be able to... I might be able to do something here. Like, when I was in the junior rep stuff, there was so many players, so many kids, like, especially playing the schoolboy stuff. There's teams from all over, and I was never a guy that was touted as the next superstar.
Yeah,
and
but there are guys
there are. There's guys that are talked about in every team across all the states, especially Queensland, New South Wales, who, you know, there's 6 guys who are going to be the first graders. The rest of these guys are making up the numbers, and I was one of those players. Like, so I never thought I was going to play first grade, but like I said, when I got a bit of a taste of it, and when I started playing, I suppose under 21s and a bit of reserve grade, I was like, oh, I think I might be able to do something here if I, stick to it and, commit myself to it. Yeah, so it wasn't until then I thought I could really, I suppose, play first grade. Yeah.
So there was no active, if I work hard, I'll get to first grade. It was more, I really enjoy this. I love sport. I'm an active guy. I'll keep doing it. Things seem to be working for me.
Yeah.
And then when you did get picked for Dragons, that's when you were kind of as in reserve grade and dirty. That's when you were like, wow, if I really do put my head down here, I have a chance.
Yeah, I think so. But I always knew from playing basketball that the harder I worked training-wise, all the extra drills, shooting drills, defensive drills I do, I'd be better, So that kind of transferred over in footy, and I was like, well, I've only started playing footy, but if I can work hard on my defence or my attack, and which is already okay, I'm making these sides, I thought if I can put the work in the gym, on the field, doing extras, I might be able to make a go of it, and so it ended up working out that way, which was great. But like I said, I played those first 5 games. I thought I'm not. And
do you have any memories from those first 5 games where you were just like, oh my god, what have I done? Maybe a bad read.
Mate, honestly, my first touch of the ball, the boys sent me in off the wing, off the scrum, back of the field, coming off our try line, 20 metres out. They said you need to get a carry here, get in the game.
Like most veterans would say, get in the game.
And I remember it clearly as day. Nathan Blackwell said, "You have a carry. Yep. It's your carry." I went to catch it, dropped it. I'm not joking, mate. It was debut.
And what did you just look around this is not happening?
Yeah, like a skinny little winger.
What did they say to you? It's all right.
That was sweet. The boys are great, teammates rally around the young guys and look after them and make sure they're okay. I later in the game, the second half, I went to catch a bomb, and I had a little bit of time. Went to catch it. I fell down to the grounds, catching the bomb because I slipped over. I felt someone's hand on my back and went to play the ball, so I didn't get tackled. I got called for voluntary tackle in my debut.
So you were just wigging out.
See, I can laugh about it right now, but you know that haunted me for years. That's like people just come in the street and talk to me about the voluntary tackle on debut.
I was going to say, has that ever happened before?
Oh mate, I've got no idea.
A voluntary tackle on debut.
Bill Harrigan got me. Yeah, it was Bill Harrigan who was still reffing, and
Come on, he could have cut you a bit of slack.
You'd think so on debut. Just let the kid go, but he didn't. So anyway, I've got vivid memories from those first 5 games, mate.
So who touched you on the back? Was it imaginary?
No, I've got no idea. It must have been. It was. I was playing at my first game. I was playing against Francis Melly, who was on the wing, and Clinton Tupy, centre wing combination. So it was.
No wonder you were rattled.
Yeah.
There's literally blokes that still they have stolen souls of blokes. There's blokes' souls they have. People that didn't watch that era of footy, young guys, because a lot of young NRL fans watch the show.
Yeah.
But Clinton Tupy and Melly were known as destroyers. They would come in shoulder charging blokes from the friggin' 20th row.
Yeah, I think Francis Melly was probably 110 kilos. Clinton Tupy was 95. That was centre wing combination. They were just powerful. Yeah, so it was, like I said,
very aggressive.
Debut to forget. A lot of memories from that time, but I suppose you have to go through those hard times to, I suppose, appreciate the good ones and want to get better. I suppose you either go one way or the other. When something happens like that, you either go shit.
Did you get any doubt?
I can't do this.
Yeah.
I suppose you do a little bit, but I suppose having the older players around helped me. And then knowing that I had a pre-season coming up, that was going to be my first ever, top grade pre-season. I thought, I can make the most. They kept telling me, after a pre-season you'll be better. After a pre-season you'll be better, and that's right. It's true.
It's very true.
Once you get to full-time training and you're training most days of the week, preparing for trials, preparing for a season, it's
and you're around the team, so you feel like one of them instead of feeling like an outsider that's coming in.
And if you get such a quick improvement in a lot of skills and stuff that you've been trying to develop where you haven't been able to because of that lack of training. So it was great. It was good to get there. And
actually, I've got an interesting question for you that I think a lot of. So say you had the exact same debut in 5 games that you had, but social media existed back then. How do you reckon you would have handled it? Because that would be on replay.
No, it would have been. It would have been tough. It would have been really tough because I'm sure it would have. I don't have any Facebook or Twitter or anything. I haven't had. I've never have. I had Facebook when I was I think maybe a few years after high school or something like that. Yeah. But mate, it would have been tough. There would have been people
because that's what they would have. So the thing with the internet is like with Facebook and that they create memes. And, Ben Hunt is still memes coming up. Imagine how hard that would be for a young man.
It'd be tough. As an 18-year-old, it'd be tough to handle. It would be the extra pressure that would add on to you as an 18-year-old would be tough. As a 31-year-old now,
oh, it's even tough. It's still tough.
Yeah, it's tough, but it's kind of water off a duck's back a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, it's
you've been there and felt it, kind of thing.
Yeah, you have, and if you let external things like that affect you, then it's going to make your job so much harder. You know, you just got to, I suppose, narrow things down to what you really care about when you get a bit older. But I suppose you only learn those things growing up and experience it to know that doesn't really, it shouldn't affect you.
Yeah.
You know? The only thing that should affect you is how you play and what your
as soon as your confidence gets rattled, you're so stuffed. Like, if your confidence is not there when you're going on a footy field, it's like a boxer kind of thing. Like, you need confidence. You need to be able to back yourself, especially as a winger. I mean, you didn't end up as a winger, but and a captain. You know, being a captain is such a huge factor. I always find that interesting, and it's something that you'll obviously deal quite intimately with the young guys that you are. Mental wellness is that social media side, because it is a double-edged sword massively. I always wonder like how I would have handled negative things on social media, especially, you know, crucial drop balls and all that kind of stuff. Would have killed me. Constantly seeing it, just getting smashed.
Because it already hurts so much at the time. It hurts afterwards. You dwell on it, you know, so much, and then I suppose opening your Twitter account and seeing people in there, it'd be heartbreaking, you know. But like I said, hopefully you got to go through those things and learn that you just got to ignore it. You know, you got to just move on, and hopefully now the amount of, I suppose, incidents or things that happen on social media between professional sports people and the general public or fans, I suppose people, sportsmen reacting to those type of things.
It never works out well. Never does.
It never works out well because it's just what the people, I suppose.
You know what I say to people that spray like me on the show and stuff like that? You know what I say every single time? It's so good. So like someone say you're the worst interviewer ever or whatever, and I'll because like whenever you comment on something on Facebook, it shares it to like the friends can see that you commented.
Everything,
So that means that they're seeing the show as well. So I write, thanks for commenting on the show and sharing it to your friends. Bloke in a Barbie coming soon.
Okay. Turn it straight back. That's awesome, mate.
It's a free advertising.
100% it is.
And the thing is if you wrote that on a positive comment, everyone would be like, gross, you're advertising your beer on a you are, come on, bro. Because it's a negative one, people laugh at it and think it's funny.
Yeah, it is good.
And you're getting you get like 10 likes from randoms.
Mate, you're winning. You're winning right now. You're winning,
It's just
keep the negative comments coming in about Kempy.
100%.
He's winning.
Please spray me as much as you want. I'll just write that. Like, you know, it's funny because like the initial reaction is like, when you see it, you know, you get that, and then you're like, what am I doing? What am I
What are you
doing?
worrying about it? Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so first debut of 5 games was tough. Then you had your preseason. Was the second year really good? Like, was that really good for you, or was it a slower process? You know, you find some guys, they get into first grade and they just, it's there. But then some guys have that slow burn and they get their feet and they get their foundation. What was it like for you?
Yeah, it was a little bit of a slow process, only because after them, I suppose, starting on the wing, they decided to give me going back row. So that pre-season I was training the forwards. They decided to put me in there. So early in the season, I wasn't playing much. I was playing a bit of reserve grade. Then I started coming off the bench in first grade as a back rower. And that's how it kind of started for me, playing back row in 2004. So that's another big learning curve. Like my whole juniors I played...
It's like a different game, mate.
Yeah, it is. No, really, it's different fitness level, different everything. You're just involved all the time. Wing centre, you're not involved all the time. So yeah, it was another eye opener again. But I suppose I always enjoyed learning, and I enjoyed the challenge too. Even as a young guy, when I was 19, then like I was like, they're backing me to play back row in the forwards. Like awesome. Like someone wants me to do something here. You know, like they want me to play in there. So I was just training as much as I
glass
could.
half full kind of thing instead of looking at all the kind of negatives.
Yeah, that's right. I was like, I played wing, centre, fullback, all my juniors. But someone's backing me here, so I'm just going to make the most of it, not let the guys down, you know. And I got my opportunity playing off the bench in 2004, and then had a few games starting back row, and I loved it. Like I loved playing back row. Like it was when I look back at my career, it was my favourite position. You know, it was. I
remember there was a couple of years when I think it was like 2006 to maybe 8. I was at the Broncos, and we were just doing video on you because you were just on fire. It was just like, it was, I mean, we can talk about that, but continue. Sorry, I was just talking.
But I loved it. I loved the challenge in there too. You know, you're close to the action, like with the front rowers, the hookers, the lock, you know, but also
freedom to do something special as well.
Freedom to work with the half. That's what I enjoyed with them. Enjoyed working with your half inside you, your centre outside you, your fullbacks out the back. And
really,
enjoy the challenge of trying to break down that. I played left edge most of my career, trying to break down that the opposition right edge. Doing the video during the week, trying to figure out where their weaknesses were, coming up with plays with the I suppose the four guys on my edge. It was awesome. It was a challenge every week. It was always changing. I love that. I really enjoyed it. And I played back row most of my career up until a few years ago when I started playing front row. Got a bit too slow. The knee caught up with me and started playing off the bench a bit of starting front row. I enjoyed that as well, but not as much as back row. And I think the main thing about playing that front row stuff, I was already I suppose seeing the light at the end of the tunnel for me, retirement wise. When they said, "Oh, when I moved in the front row," it was like, "Oh,
okay, I'm getting a bit slower."
Get out. So that was tough to take, but I still just trained. Saw it as another challenge, I suppose. Another position to learn, a new skill set to learn.
Was that 2011 and 12?
I think so. It might have been 2012, I think. I played a back row 11, a bit of back row 12. It might have been 13, actually. I started playing
13.
A bit more front row. Yeah.
So that late.
So, it was another good challenge for me, mate. And, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, you forget how important, if you've got a back rower running good lines and working really well with that half.
Yeah.
That's the clincher.
It is, yeah.
Your fullback can run as good as line as he wants. Your centre can run as good as line. Your winger can do the greatest thing in the world. The half can do the greatest thing in the world. It all hinges on whether that back rower commits that 3 defender, the 4 defender. Is it the 4?
No, it's a 3 defender. You want your half committing the 4 and this
back row
committing the 3. And
so it's a 3-on-2.
Yeah, that's right. There's timing. You got to have everything right to make sure that there's that. I suppose the space on the edge for your fullback, centre, and winger to work to, hopefully get a try. That's what you're aiming to do. Yeah.
And the good thing about back row as well is you're still getting that aggressive, competitive edge out. You still got those hard runs you've got to take coming out of your end, but you've also got the fancier stuff of footy. So it is that kind of connecting position between the fancy footy and the tough footy. Kind of
you're right. Yeah, it's an enjoyable position back row. Really good. Yeah.
So 2000 so Nathan Brown would have been your coach.
He was, yeah. Brownie was my coach from 2003 to 2008 when Wayne took over in 2009. So I had Brownie for a fair bit.
So you would have been around in Blacklock when he he was at the end of his career.
He was, yeah. He played probably maybe 1 or 2 years when I started there.
Was Chock there? Mundine was he?
No, Mundine wasn't there. He hadn't started.
Timo?
Timo was there. Yeah, I've played with some special players. When I look
Gaznia.
back. Mark Gaznia, Trent Barrett, Jason Riles, Luke Bailey, Nathan Blacklock, Lance Thompson. I played with Tom when he was at the club too for a while until he went to Cronulla. Yeah, tough guy. And then later in my career, guys like Gareth, Jeremy Smith, Jamie Soward, Benji, Josh Dugan. If you look back, and there's some really special players I've been lucky to play alongside. And they all bring some amazing things to the side, on off the field too. So I've been very lucky, mate. Yeah.
What do you reckon the biggest change has been in maybe the culture of rugby league or the player of rugby league? So compare a young forward maybe from today to maybe. Do you think a lot is the same? It's just maybe more science or something. What do you?
Yeah, no, I think a lot's the same. I really do think a lot's the same. I suppose trends and things change over time.
Yeah.
With young kids coming in, whether they're influences, so whether it be social media like we touched on before. But I definitely think the science compared to when I started to when it is now, how the training days are broken down, how your training sessions are broken down,
much better,
how your weight sessions are broken down. They're all just so specific on each player's need, not just a broad, here's a sheet, this is all of you doing the same thing, here's a training session, we're all doing the same thing. Go
cow yourselves up. That's essentially what it was back in when I started.
So it's chalk and cheese to what it was when I first started. I remember 2004, that first preseason I spoke of, it was just like there was road runs, there was
100 metres.
Yeah, there was 50 hundreds or something like that.
On 16
for everyone, for the whole squad, where it's not targeted. Some guys do 50 hundred easy, like your outside backs.
Yeah,
your front rowers are battling away. So you need something more, and they've worked that out. And the GPS monitoring, the rehab stuff, the recovery things after the game, the stretching, the Pilates, so much more in just turning up to training in the morning, go to a field session, do your weight session, go home. It's 4 days now, pre-season and even in season as well. The amount of people that are employed, I think at the moment, I can only speak for the Dragons, I think there might be five people just in the performance department itself, plus physios on top of that. There's 3 physios on top of that.
Yep.
Every club's the same.
Yeah.
Back when there was no performance department
Just
when
one
I
guy.
first started, and there was one physio.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
Physio, coach, maybe 2 assistant coaches, a footy manager. And then your gear steward and stuff. That was the staff back then.
Yep.
Now there's
Heaps of people.
up to 25 to 30 people working just in the football department to make sure players are at their prime optimum to be able to train every day and be able to be ready for the season. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's amazing, mate. It really
Yeah,
is. Yeah,
because I started in 2005. I actually thought we started further apart, but
Yeah.
only a year after.
Yeah.
So, 100%. You'd rock up in those days, and it would literally be like, "All right, boys, we've got 50 hundreds."
Yeah.
And it was just like 2 hours of just getting towed up,
yeah.
and then it'd be like, "All right, ball session now," or whatever. Whereas now, it's like, your fitness session's like, "All right, boys, we've got 3 times 7 minutes."
That's right.
Get
it's
it
all
done.
timed, yeah.
And get it quick, and
It's all on distance. It's all
Yep.
on distance. They've got certain Ks. They want certain players in certain positions to run, and
Yep.
they make sure those players meet those targets every day. And if you don't, you do extras afterwards. That's how it works. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so. When do you feel like it was a slow progression, but you eventually did become quite a strong, like a known and strong player, and then obviously became captain of one of the most prestigious clubs in the NRL. The Dragons. They're pretty sure they're the longest served, one of the biggest histories or something like that. But if you took both of their, like a St. George and Steelers, St. George and Steelers,
Yeah, St. George and the Warrior. Yeah.
merged. But if you took one away, they'd have some of the longest history or whatever. So when was the time for you when you really clicked into first grade and you were like, "Well, I'm a first grader here and I'm confident and I'm playing some good footy"?
It's probably like 2007, 2008. It took a few years to get comfortable. I'm actually the year 2005. I made my first rep side. I played Country New South Wales early in the year up in Lismore. I still remember that. That was again like I was 20 then, like very early, like an eye opener again. I knew that. I played a bit of first grade 2004, a bit of 2005, and I was playing okay. Young, keen, hungry.
Yep.
Played that next level again, and I was still far behind all those players like Craig Fitzgibbons and guys like that who were playing the team. So I knew I still had a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
And I suppose it wasn't the next couple of years just working hard pre-seasons, doing extras, making sure I was fit and ready for games. It wasn't until 2007, 2008 that I was like pretty comfortable playing,
Oh man, you were playing you were just destructive on that edge. You just couldn't be tackled. I mean, as I said, we were doing video sessions and we were going down to play you, and most of the video session was just like, just get him, just somehow get 3 in the tackle, somehow. Because you just, what do you reckon it was that year? Those 2, 3, maybe even 4 years?
I'm not sure. I think it was those couple of years developing and how to play as an edge back rower and what my job was. And like we touched on just before, your main job is to run hard leads as hard and fast as you can. Make sure your timing's right for the half.
Yeah.
To either catch a ball to just break the line or to hold that 3 defender in to do your job. And it's not complicated, and I just made sure I did that the best I could every time. And, it was paying off. Like the work I was doing behind the scenes to train, it was paying off. And I was really enjoying playing footy then at that time. And Wayne came 2009. Just love playing underneath him. Like most guys who do play with Wayne, he simplifies the game so much. He brings a team together. He's a coach you want to play for and do well for. And that's when I made my first Origin side, 2009. So there was years building up to that, but it was definitely a lot of influence in the players around me and the coaching staff that year.
It's amazing how, I know it sounds a bit, soft, but it's amazing how just Wayne caring about you. It means like just showing that, making you feel like he actually cares about me, just gives you bucket loads of confidence to play good footy. It's so weird how, he could literally say, "I'm not even going to say a word about the game.
Yeah,
I don't care about what you do in the game," and he could just treat you as a person or whatever, and you'd go and play good footy, and you have no game plan just because he's got everyone in the best possible shape they can be in.
Yeah, he's a pretty amazing person that way. I think. It's like that because of his history and what he's done in the game and the players he's coached and the amount of respect he's earned for so long coaching, whether it's been Australia, Origin, Brisbane.
Yep.
He just I suppose commands that respect, and every player, I suppose, before I knew had been coached by him all just speak so highly of him and always, I suppose, praise him in a way that he's a wonderful coach you just want to play for. And when he comes to your club, you realise why. I suppose I get it now. You know, and you just don't let him down. I think that's the main thing as a player. You never want to let him down because you knew that he was putting a lot into the team and a lot into you and making sure you're developing you as a rugby league player.
I remember in 2008 we were at the Broncos, and this just like exemplifies like it was such a risky thing to do and say by him to the team, but he was just so intelligent with knowing what the feeling of the group was. So we were on a run, and we'd lost like 1 or 2 games. He pulled us all into the video room, and it was like a few games before the final series, and he said, "Guys, like, if you don't want to if we aren't really keen, if you don't want to make the finals, if we want to pack it in, that's totally fine. You just let us know. I just need to be on the same page as you. If you all sit here and say we're tired, we're fatigued, the year's been too much, we've had too many injuries, you just let me know, and we'll cruise it in, and then we'll go end the season and we'll focus on next year." Yeah. Risky so risky, because we could turn around and go, yeah, let's just stuff this. But it did the complete opposite. Everyone was like, nah, what?
He knows his team. He's so smart. Like you just said, he knows his team. He knew none of you guys were going to put your hand up, put the white flag up.
Oh, 100%.
He just knows that, and he knows his team's going to play for him. He knows no one in that room is going to put their hand up and go, I don't want to play. Yeah. Because they're going to let first they're going to let their teammates down. Yeah, and they're going to let him down. Yeah. It's not going to happen. So he's, like I said, he's got a special aura about him, a special presence that is a lot of coaches take years, decades to earn that. He's got it right now in 2016, 2017, which is. Do
you have any those 2000 and so your minor prems 2009, 2010? Did you get minor premiership 10 and then win it?
Yeah. So we won. Yeah, minor premiership 2010, then we won it. Yeah.
Yeah, but 2009 you had minor prems, but you got knocked out.
Yeah, I suppose that period when Wayne was at the club was probably the most. Speaks for itself. Winning their premiership and minor premiership was probably the best time in my career. As in what the team accomplished, what happened with the club and the fans. It was really special. 2009 was a funny year. First year of Wayne. A lot of new guys came in. Darius Boyd, Jeremy Smith, Nathan Feen came in as well, and we were pretty dominant all the season. We played great. Yeah, it got to round 26. We played the Parramatta Eels at Creagh, and
they were on that fire run with Jared Hayne.
They were going pretty good, and it was going to work out that if either way, win or lose, we were playing them the next week in the first round of the semis. So round 26, and they've dropped a few players. A few players aren't playing. They said they were sick or injured, and we flogged them. And so I think we beat them by 40 points, something like that. So it was one set up for the next week. We're playing first week at Creagh again. Back up and playing with Creagh. They're back to full strength the week after, and they beat us. First week of the semis, minor premiers. We just flogged them the week before, so that was a big shock to the team. Yep. So back then, if you lost when you were first place and you lost, we had to fly to Brisbane the week after.
Torture.
To play Brizzy up there. Yep. And Darren Lockie kicked a field goal to win the game. It was his last season too, 2009, and I think he broke his cheekbone in that game.
Jared Beals.
We were knocked out straight sets 2009. So that I suppose that happening, it was embarrassing. It was tough to take, but I suppose it's just stoked the fire even more for 2010. Yep. And 2010 we just kicked on that year. Yeah, we won the minor premiership. We won week 1, had a week off, won the semi before the GF, and then went on to win the grand final. It was a special year, mate. Yeah,
do you have any personal stories of situations where you've gone with Wayne, like, wow, I get it. This is his bread and butter. This is what he does that is so special that gets team to kick on, like maybe the week before the grand final, or a very important game that he's got you up for really well, or
I don't know if there's one exact instance, but I think it's just times how he manages the team during the year on losses, on wins, heading into final series, how he trains us, how he looks after the players during different times. He just seems to know when to give us a break and know when to push us hard, and just how he spoke to us in meetings and how he just before every game was managed to get us going. Sometimes
rolled up,
and especially half time as well is special that way. Yeah.
And 2010 week of the grand final, this is a young guy, a basketball player at 14. You would have never thought that you're going to be sitting there for one of the most prestigious clubs in the NRL, bringing them back to full glory. 2010 grand final week. What was it like for you? Is there anything that sticks out in your mind?
There was a lot of pressure that week because you got to remember those years under Nathan Brown, 2005, 2007, 2008. That we had one of the best teams on paper in the comp, and we could never make it. We were called chokers. We were called everything. So going off the back in 2009 when we lost in straight sets, the pressure was piled on. It was came from every quarter, every corner of the media, from teams, from expert commentators. And
I remember it. It was pretty intense.
It's full on. It was full on. Yeah, the pressure on the club. Yeah, because of so much success in the past when they won the 10 premierships back in the 60s, and the amount of immortals at the club and stuff like that. There's a high expectation not only from their own fans but from outside that the Dragons should do well.
Yeah.
So 2010 grand final week. Yeah, it was exciting, but there was still that lingering bit of pressure in the back of your mind.
Yep.
Me being a senior player as well with Dino and Benny and Matt Cooper, Mark Gasnier, to be able to perform on that day. But I suppose Wayne takes the edge off a bit, knowing that you've got someone who's been there so many times before, knows how to manage a team. He's calm during the week. He's not under pressure, and he's seen it all before. He's heard it all before. He just makes sure you're focusing on the team, not the outside noise. And just preparing to win the game. Yeah.
And so you run out in the field. It's a grand final. What's the overwhelming kind of feeling? What was it like? Is there a memory in the last when you knew you had won it? I think Feeney scored.
Yeah, I think Feeney scored. Dean Young scored two, one try. And
did that mean something to you personally? Because I know Dean Young would be he's a very close mate.
Yeah, he is, yeah.
And he's someone that you also would admire and respect a lot. To see him go over that was his last year, wasn't it?
No,
it was a year after.
2 years after. 2 years after, I think. Yeah, but no, it was special to see him score. Gypsy scored a double, I think. Feeney scored. Dino scored. I think it wasn't until the last 10 to 15 minutes, where we were up by 20 odd points, where we could enjoy it. There's not many times in footy where you get to enjoy. But that was one time where he was looking around. I think we scored a try, going back to receive a kickoff. He looked around. The boys were buzzing. Gives me goosebumps now thinking about it. But
what's that like that when you think back? How you what's that?
It's just amazing because it's a dream come true. It's about to happen if you just put in for another 10 minutes and. You were just so confident that it wasn't going to go to shit. You know what I mean? You were just how the game had gone. We had a tough first half. We'd come back in the second half, scored 4 tries or something like that.
Yep.
And you just knew how the game was going, how the opposition was playing. That we'd hang on here and win the game. And it was. I don't think I've ever had another feeling like it. In a sporting sense. It was special. It's special, mate. Yeah.
And did you just get did you all of a sudden have all this energy kind of thing? You could go hard for the next 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Whereas if you were losing, you'd be like,
it makes it so much harder, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And that's just, I suppose, explains. Majority of the game's just mental. It always comes back to that. How you I suppose approach tough times during games or anything. You can really let it get to you. It's gonna affect how you play, and you're not gonna want to play.
Yeah, 100%. And so. The next few years. So did Wayne leave at 2010 or 11?
He left the year after 2011.
2011.
He had 3 years, and Steve Price started coaching in 2012.
Yeah.
The next year was even special as well because we had to play the World Cup Challenge in February over in.
What was that like?
It was awesome against Wigan. Yeah, we were over there for a week. Had a great time. We won the game too, which was even better.
Yeah, it makes the trip better.
Yeah, and 2011 season we had a pretty good season, but. I can't remember what we came in that year in 2011, but we didn't get minor premiers, but we're up there. I think we're in the top 4.
Yeah, I think that I mean, I could be wrong, but outside looking in, it just looked like that fire just wasn't as strong because you'd done it. I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong.
I'm not really sure what. I'll have to think about it more to find out what went on. I don't know if it was a combination of a few things, but we just we played in the finals games and we did okay in the finals. We played all right. We just couldn't get over the edge. Couldn't get over the line again. So, and then Wayne left, and he had a few guys go with him. I think Darius left with him to go to Newcastle. I think Jeremy Smith might have as well.
Yeah, Jeremy went. Yep.
So they were big losses for us. 2012, Pricey started coaching us. Dino and Benny retired a year after that. So he lost a Gaz.
Good core of blokes.
Yeah, Gaz retired as well. So he lost a big core of players that was...
very important. Positions too.
Important positions and players hard to replace because that's years of experience. you can always replace talent. I think you can always. There's always players who are talented who can do the job, but to have that experience in the side that makes the whole team feel comfortable that I've got someone there, a teammate who's done this before. I can rely on him. He can help me.
Yeah.
He's hard to replace
That's very
sometimes.
true, yeah.
And so we missed that. We missed that for a few years. There was a few tough years under Pricey. I think Pricey was a wonderful coach. He had a tough job after Wayne left.
100%. And young too.
That's right. With the players who left, the players who retired.
Yeah.
And the amount of criticism he copped, he can hold his head high about how he managed the team, managed the players. He lost Jamie left as well during one of those years. So there's a lot of change, a lot of things going on.
Retire as well, so you just lost your two friggin' halves.
Yeah, that's right. We had a lot going on.
Yeah.
But I suppose it was, and that was my first year as captain as well. So it was a bit happening. It was. But it was a good time for learning for me, experience, all that. I'd been through the good times, been through tough times before, and tough times were back. But if I suppose if you always focus on what your goals are and what your core values are as a team, and always come back to that, not to worry about too much outside noise, you usually go okay.
What do you think you learnt the most about yourself in that time?
Oh, I suppose it was one of those times how to cop criticism, how to accept it and just move on, learn from it, I suppose. I've always been pretty good at that with the coaches and stuff, but I suppose the outside noise being captain really affected me during that time. It was tough, going to press conferences as a first-year captain and having some performances that weren't ideal. Personally, as well, how I was playing.
Yep.
I think I let the pressure get to me a fair bit.
Yep.
But also as a team as well, we weren't performing as well as we had done the previous 2 years, and people kept bringing up the fact of you've lost Wayne Bennett now, you've lost your hunger, you lost your fire, you won the premiership a couple of years ago. You're not going to be able to do it again there's a lot of people doubting us, and I think I let that affect me. And if a senior player's letting that affect like myself, then it's going to be affecting a lot worse other players in your side as well. And I think I learnt that year to really, the criticism's going to be there, but you just got to move on from it. You got to worry about what's really important to you and the team, and what your coach need from you, what your teammates need from you, and always go back to focusing on that. And like I said just before, you'll usually be okay.
Yeah. And when you did get the captaincy, what was that moment like for you?
Huge buzz. Yeah. I knew I thought I might have been a chance. I still had Matt Cooper and Nathan Finn there at the time, and I thought one of those guys, being older and being more experienced, might have got to be asked. But Steve Price asked me at the end of I think it might have been 2012 season, to be captain after Benny and Dino were left, and I was completely shocked and honoured, mate. To be playing since 2003, and to, I suppose, 9 years later to get the opportunity to captain the club. I've played under some great captains, Trent Barrett, Gaz and Riles were captain for a while, Benny Hornby for a long time. To be in that position now as a captain of the club was huge honour. And I suppose something I never took it for granted. I always loved doing the job, loved being the captain, and special time for me those few years. Yeah.
And what's any funny memories? I mean, there's thousands of funny memories, but any pranks with the boys or memories that you can remember? That's what footy's all about, or this is what the group of men are all about. Something funny, something fun. Yeah.
I don't think I have anyone off the top of my head right now, but I suppose it's funny players you meet along the way who really, I suppose, can brighten like my day personally, and players like the team as well. Dan Hunt's one of them who, I just think now he's always made me laugh. He's got some funny things that happened to him. Jake Marquetto as well.
Jakey Marquetto.
Jolie Thompson,
JT legend.
Yeah, there's some really good guys that can really just how they are as people really brighten the mood. And there's probably the times I remember, whether it's in the tough times doing fitness and everyone's out in their feet and they come up with some stupid comment or I don't know,
case of the week, something.
Yeah, there's plenty of memories, mate. I'm lucky to have them. Yeah.
And toughest time where you've been like, wow, man,
we just touched on the first year as captain. I think it was 2013 on my first year as captain. That was definitely my toughest year. It was personally my performance. It was the worst I played personally of my whole career. And like I said, I look back at it now and think it was. I let the pressure of the captaincy, all that involved. I probably took too much on by myself and didn't get any help. and to try and shield other players from it,
Yeah,
and,
okay.
I suppose that was probably my toughest period of my career.
Yep. And ask all the boys this: favorite rapper of all time.
Favorite rapper of all time.
Yep.
What's his name?
It can't be your favourite. You don't know. 50 Cent?
Like, yeah, probably 50 Cent or something.
50
Mate,
Cent.
I'm not really a big
Rap guy?
rap man. Sorry, mate.
But yeah, who's your favourite music artist?
Oh, I used to listen to Pearl Jam growing up as a
Pearl
teen.
Jam?
Yeah, Pearl Jam.
Yeah,
bit old
they're
school.
classic.
Yeah, probably Kings of Leon.
They're
Black
good.
Keys. I'm pretty keen on those type of bands now. Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm a big rap man. Yeah.
Favourite movie of all time?
Favorite movie, probably Saving Private Ryan. Love it.
Oh, great
I
movie.
love war movies. I love I don't know why. Yeah, but anyway.
Is there a new war movie coming out?
Yeah,
soon?
there is. Yeah, Something Ridge. Something Ridge. I just saw Mel Gibson. Something
Razor Ridge or something.
That's it. Yeah,
something like that.
I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, that looks pretty good actually. There's actually another one that was a bit more indie, but it's a war movie. Actually, it might be the same one, and he's a medic and he doesn't want to kill anyone or something like that. And they it's a true story.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
My grandfather actually, he was one of the Rats of Tobruk.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, so like I think that it was in the Middle East and they had to hold a position. And he was telling me stories of like how, so that they were outnumbered and they had to hide in trenches or something, and Nazi tanks were going over them, and they attacked without any tanks. So the Nazis had tanks, the Aussies didn't.
Yeah.
They attacked them, the Nazis, and killed and won.
Wow.
Beat them, and they had a tank. They were hiding underneath, and the tank was like rolling past, like, and he was like hiding, like.
That's crazy, mate.
18 years old.
That's crazy. We'd have no idea, would we? Like, we're very lucky.
Clue.
2016 to not have to be sent to war or have to do what they've had to do.
Could never do it.
Yeah.
There's nothing I'll ever achieve in my life that would ever compare to the bravery or anything or the achievement that it took for those men to go over there and.
Special people, eh?
And then come back and be citizens, most of them. Yeah. Like, whereas now, anyway. If you could have a billboard anywhere saying anything, what would it be?
Billboard anywhere, what could it say? I think it would be something about equal marriage rights at the moment.
Oh, okay,
a little
Equality
bit.
with the...
For...
I'm so embarrassed that just, like hasn't already... Like, how
it's sad, isn't it? Yeah. Like, we keep talking about 2016, we're here today, and there's not equal rights for gay partners and gay couples to be able to get married in Australia. Like, it seems to be happening all over the world, and it's embarrassing that politicians in Canberra can't come up with a solution. They just it's a political issue that's keep getting tossed backwards and forwards, and it's embarrassing as an Australian citizen that's still like that today. It should 100%. Be like I said, it should have happened years ago, and it's sad it hasn't happened. I hope it happens soon because I truly believe that gay and lesbian partners should have the same rights as marriage rights as
we're even talking
all citizens in this country.
Yeah, and what makes me I love Australia, everything it represents. What embarrasses me even more is we're gonna vote on someone else's right.
Yeah, that's right.
How dare we vote on someone else's right to just get married?
It's embarrassing, mate. It really is embarrassing, and the role of a politician in this country is that they're meant to make a decision about these type of issues, and they can't even do it. Both sides of politics can't even come up with it should not be this difficult, and they're making it harder than it really should be. And like I said, it's embarrassing.
Yeah, 100%. I totally agree. And that's it's so frustrating because I love the country so much. I love everything about it, and then you look at this and you're like, we have a whole demographic of people that are second-class citizens.
Yeah, sad.
Fucking sucks.
Stuck in the 50s, mate.
Oh,
stuck in the 50s.
If you care about what the idea of marriage is, let's just focus on the divorce rates first before we worry about the idea of marriage and a gay couple getting together. If we can reduce, do you know what I mean? You've got no leg to stand on, none. Anyway, bro, it has been so interesting. Thank you so much for coming on, man. I really appreciate it. Good luck in retirement. I'm sure we'll see each other around.
Yep.
So
thanks, Kevin.
Thank you so much, mate.
No, mate. Thanks for having me on. I've really enjoyed it. Thanks.
What's up, guys? Looking to create a new account with William Hill? For the first $50 you deposit, you receive a $150 bonus bet or have your initial deposit matched. Inbox me for details.